Yeah, we're gonna get started with our meeting, and, we're just gonna go on down the line with the agenda. And have, get some input, solve some problems, or get some inputs, or whatever we can do with it for tonight. Okay, first on the agenda, is the roll call of all the, housing cluster that's on the board. William Griffin, Cannon Village, here. Marijuana Blue, Summit Village,
Here.
Bernadette White, Pineview,
Here.
David Hawkins, Washington Overlook, he's absent. And Zoe McNair from Westwood House, Senior Apartment. She's not here. Anyone here from the Westwood House?
Where's the house? Oh.
Queen Brown, Vicksburg Apartment.
Here. Javen Peterson from Overlook. Wait a minute, let's get it right. Javen Peterson from Dakota Crossing.
Here.
Zia Diggs from Mapleview, she's absent. Linda Smith from the Gettysburg Apartment, he's absent. And Alfonso Ruth Village at Dakota Crossing, he's absent. And Joseph Weatherspoon from the Vicksburg Apartment, he's absent. And next thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from October the 18th, 2012 board meeting. Do we have the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just read it and we find anything that needs to be corrected, we'll just approve it with corrections. We'll give a few minutes to review the minutes. Everybody read the minutes? Any corrections?
You know, if they've been knocking on their door, they can't get in. How can they get in? Mr. Pearson, she said the door was locked up there. Over.
The main entrance door?
Uh-huh.
How'd you get in?
Locked.
The cleaning lady let me.
Somebody let us in. Somebody let us in.
We may not have anybody able to come in because they might be locked.
Okay.
You want me to see if I can ask them if they could come and, you know,
Yeah.
prop it open?
No, you can't prop it open.
Not open, but they
But the
over.
security's up there, see people answer the door. Okay, he's gonna check, he's gonna check.
You said there is a security officer there?
That's right, oh, Fifth District is
Oh,
here.
no, I thought security for the school, I think.
I don't think he's here this time.
Only thing is maintenance.
Oh, this was just here.
Well, I remember them making note of that next time, whether or not they can have some way of ensuring that people can enter
Uh-huh.
during the time the meeting is being conducted.
Or you could make a announcer coming down here, and let them know to come to this door.
So someone has to be there to open that door.
Uh-huh.
That door is,
Door's locked.
Well, we'd be able to hear it better down here than we would that door there. If they knock on the door with the key or something.
take one the key to sit here way back here. I'll see what I can work out.
Because of the key not carry.
Anyway, on with the agenda.
Okay, good.
Minutes approved. A second motion.
No, I see some corrections, on the,
Under where? Where are you?
wait,
Minutes.
yeah, for the, oh, that's the fifth district. I thought it was, okay, I don't see anything. Okay, someone make a motion for the
The
minutes.
the minutes were moved and second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the minutes to be, approved and adopted with correction.
No corrections.
No corrections.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the status report on calculation and payment on overdue DC and federal co-op income taxes. That's Ms. White.
All right, the status of the taxes is they have not been completed. And I need to get with you to get the administrative documents, how we do business, how we created, all of those kinds of things have to be a part of it. I also need a copy of the last filing that we have on record. All of those was, that information is needed for me to get them done.
So did you bring them tonight?
Yeah, all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all of it is here, but it ain't done.
Well,
Got the
how far have
forms.
you gotten on them?
I collected the forms, went down and got the forms.
Mhm.
I also have been in conference with the CPA. Because I'm not qualified to do them,
Okay.
but I am willing to get them done.
Okay. So, we have to work and get them done, because we have a deadline.
That deadline is,
I mean, deadline is next meeting. And we don't have them done by next meeting.
What about the letter? We need to have this one.
that's 2012.
Yeah, the 990.
We don't have to do it for 20.
No, that's only for,
2012.
yeah. We are trying to get past records done, taxes done, up to,
11.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so those ones,
8 to 11 is what we're working on.
right.
And you still have, okay. No, something that's exempt from us, we have to do.
Oh, yeah, we
Not
got
until 2012.
Yeah, we got to get those.
No, it's not 2012, it's this year, but she had a deadline for those, correct?
Yeah, I think before, it's in December.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The 990.
Yeah, the 990
Mm,
for the 2012
Easy.
for,
yeah.
I have that form also.
Oh, you can't go online? Oh.
I have the form.
No, I'm coming to go online and fill it out. Don't do it that way.
Oh, well, I just got the whole thing, I have to fill it out and send it on. Yes, ma'am.
Alright. So, when
But
is
that's
it?
just for the,
December the 20th.
501c3. Am I correct?
So what now?
The 990 is for the
Yeah.
501c3
Yeah,
that we have just received
yeah.
for 2012. It does not affect 2008 through 11.
Oh, no, On the status of report on proposed first annual Fort Lincoln tour of homes and potential date. And that's you too.
We had proposed April 2013 for the home tour.
I thought the home tour was going to be in September.
We have to have it during our term. On our term, new officers are elected in May. We need to do it before May,
And then too, we have a contract.
before
with-
election,
Yeah, we have.
at the end of this term.
Just gotta put the work.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we have a contract with this copying place, and our term runs out in June. So we have to have.
Make
it-
sure we,
Yeah, so, so
Before
we don't
June.
have to pay for signs and, and flyers and all of that. They will do them, but our contract.
that's why the date April was suggested, April 2012.
That sound like a work up a date?
If it have another, you think
Yeah,
about?
yeah. Okay. Do you have the number of house, do you have the number of homes that?
We would like to have all 13. I have not, my committee has not met since the first meeting.
Okay.
So, and the object is to get all 13 to participate. And we'll have to go with what we have. I can, after the committee meets and
Okay.
get their budget together, because the outline for funding has not been finalized either by committee.
And you have you contacted the people that they said they would put their house out there for a tour?
Not yet. The only contact we made was when we first started doing it, and we did get some names, and that's what committee plans to use to revisit those names that we obtained, to see if they are going to participate.
Yeah, but you haven't contacted the people.
Those are the same people.
It's
I
right.
mean, these people.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just had my hand up on that particular issue because I saw something where my house of 2731 was on a list and I didn't agree.
There was a list of potential
Oh,
people
that's-
created when we
Oh.
came up with the idea. There are many addresses
Okay.
in the different clusters,
Mhm.
and there was an initial call to these addresses to find out their availability. There were a few responses, positive responses that came from that, and that's where the committee wants to begin their can work with those names that we have already, and we will be asking.
Because I'm not at that house, so, yeah, I don't live there.
You moved on.
So, also that's-
Committee working, committee is at work.
Okay, so you haven't gotten a budget together?
Yeah.
I plan to use the, tools that Brooklyn,
Okay.
afforded us, and I'd like to use that program.
So, all right. So the next item is we need to vote on whether to approve and to authorize a fund for our first annual Fort Lincoln tour of homes.
Well, I'd like for us to agree that we will do it. And as far as the budget, I don't think that we can agree on the money today. All of that information will have to be presented to you in December.
Let's see how many people be interested in a home tour. So I think this is something that we just attempted for the first time.
What is the purpose of doing a home tour?
It's
Fundraising.
It's
fundraising.
a fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser.
Primary purpose cannot be fundraising. Primary purpose is build solidarity between neighbors, get them visiting each other. And if we also raise some money, that'd be wonderful. But I wouldn't think that fundraising would be the primary purpose of having a home tour.
How would you raise money doing that?
But every other civic association, about 30 civic associations in Washington DC sponsor home tours. It's a traditional way that civic associations build bonds between neighbors and incidentally raise money. Particularly if your very first home tour, you may or may not raise any money. That's why it's important to have a budget, find out how many tickets you project you're going to be able to sell, what your expenses are going to be, and whether you expect to make a profit. You may decide not to do it if it's going to cost too much, cost way much more than you're going to expect to sell in tickets. But it's been very successful for most civic associations that have been doing it any length of time. Brooklyn is the closest. I think they make about $15,000. Others make upwards to $90,000 from annual home tour.
So we are literally going into someone's home
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you do,
throughout.
I've gone to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I've done it before.
And you see what it's done as
It's
far
like-
as renovations and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I've done it with embassy, so that's what I
Some
think.
people don't know what you like, but that's what it's all
This is
about.
what Brooklyn did.
So a dollar amount
That's
on
right.
that would be.
So this was their tour this year.
Can you see that?
Oh, so you're gonna have to put out brochures and.
Yeah.
It's
You don't have to do
a little
anything.
job.
It's up to you what you want to do. In terms of your very first year, you may or may not put out brochures. It depends what your budget is. How much money you have available to put on the tour. And that's why before you vote on having a tour, you need to have a budget. Some idea of what it's going to cost.
So we can't vote on it tonight because we don't have the budget together?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser. We don't have, so we did away with the dues. And so, we have to raise some funds from somewhere.
And we get it from our website.
Well,
That's
Mr.
where we get
Griffin,
our
I think
funds.
the first thing, I mean, it's just like this meeting tonight. If nothing but the school closing, I would think it would be packed. A lot of people are not aware of this meeting. And, I think the idea is good, you know, but to vote on it tonight, I think you should delay that, maybe. I'm for it, but
I think people fundamentally misunderstand what the purpose of the meeting is. This is not, we normally have votes by members about things on the agenda. The only discussion, the only vote is by the people on the board. You know, we don't have discussions asking people in the audience what they think. The board represents their housing clusters, and the board talks to each other and votes on stuff. The only time members have a vote is at the annual meeting. At the annual meeting, they vote someone to
You know,
represent
I
them
do,
on the
I
board.
do understand that, but I was giving my opinion. If I thought about what they were trying to accomplish was a good idea, because I could go back to my community and express this as something that the city association, the board, that they're trying to put together.
Right. I would just ask, you know, if they in favor of it, would they
It's
be in
irrelevant.
favor?
Have a board representing each one of the housing clusters for that purpose.
My representation is not here. As a matter of fact, I've never seen
Yeah. And to be truthfully honest, we don't have, it's the same type of, civic association you guys have. We don't have that. And we were trying to figure out what is it that we can do as residents, because I feel, because I'm not a homeowner, you know.
You might
I
be
get
out of order
overlooked.
here.
I'm out of order.
You might be out of order.
I get overlooked. We get overlooked by a lot of things.
Where you live?
I live over in the Washington Overlook, across the street.
Oh, no, rentals can be a member of the Civic Association.
And David is.
I wasn't fully educated on how it works or anything. I don't know.
Oh,
So that's why I'm here, because no one told me. I found out from my neighbor. She told me, let us know there was a meeting here.
mhm.
So,
Okay. Yeah, you can be a member. So we can vote on that tonight.
All right.
We can't vote on it tonight till we get a budget.
Let's give you move on. Everyone 13.
So I think this is something we could be tabled to later or what? What's wrong?
It has to be. If you can't approve it without a vote, you have to, you just have to. The agenda.
Line, clarify.
Yeah, I know that something definitely needs to be clarified. We're not here to watch the board do anything. If you have us come out, it's because you want us engaged in the meeting, because you have your executive meetings where you take care of whatever executive business
That
you
used to be
want.
the case.
But when you have us come out,
That used to be the case. I changed our bylaws, whole new way of operating now.
it may be a whole new way of operating, but if you want people to come out, you know, nobody's gonna come out just to watch.
Well, there's a section of the agenda where new business, people have announcements, et cetera, where members of the community can do that. But we now videotape meetings so people don't have to come out. They can sit on their computer and watch the entire meeting. So we changed the entire way we operate back in June of this year. No longer in the executive committee. This is the only meeting of the Fort Lincoln Civic Association Board.
So why are we here?
Because you're interested in seeing what happens. You may have some announcements at the end of the meeting you want to contribute, discussion that you want to bring up that's not on their agenda.
Well, is anything about security, police presence, while the lights are out?
See the police officer right back there. They'll go through the agenda at the end. The last thing on the agenda is any new business by anybody in the audience who wants to bring up something.
Okay.
So what y'all want?
All of this has to be tabled,
The next meeting?
because all of this is about the home tour.
Okay, so we'll table the,
New business. Yeah.
the home tour for now, to the next meeting. Okay, the next thing is proposed speakers series sponsored by Fort Lincoln Civic Association committees. This is the different committees that's working on different projects. I know with, the committee on, planning and zoning was supposed to present tonight, but they didn't get it together, so they're not presenting. So next month, December the, is it the 20th? The next meeting here is the, Grounds and Recreation, Committee. So, I think the chairperson is here for that committee, she can talk about that when we talk to new business.
Are we there? Aren't we there?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Oh,
Please, hey.
you can speak now.
Oh, okay. On December the 20th, I am the chairperson of the Grounds Committee. And, I've done this before. When I was president of my association, I used to walk the grounds and check different things like roads and stuff that we need repaired, which is a lot of sidewalks and stuff, seniors is falling. And, Harry Thomas did work closely with me when he was available on some of the roads and stuff that I was able to get repaired, but they, DOT have repaired them, like put tar and hose. And now the tar has come up, so it needs to be repaired properly. So now I'm in the process of going back over all that stuff that needs to be redone and stuff that, more stuff that needs to be done, like speed bumps. We were promised by our ANC commissioner that was never delivered. We have a lot of work in Fort Lincoln that needs to be done because it's not getting better, it's getting worse. So anything, like you live in here, you see or come across that you say to me that this needs to be taken care of for whatever reason, feel free to, share with us what it is. But at our next meeting, December 20th, I'm going to give you a list of everything that I have come across that needs repair, like the sidewalks and the trees cutting and that the city needs to do.
Okay, and the park.
And park and recreation, oh my God. There's a lot of work up there need to be redone, like the lightings, which I was told by Juanita Peterson, who's working there now in charge of parks, and Mr. Jones. They have replaced those lights over and over again, and for some reason, children or people come and break them out. The trash cans have been destroyed. Our fountain is no longer working, which is beautiful, our water fountain. So these are some things as a community and civic association we really need to address to keep our place looking nice. So all those things I will have on my list to share with everybody December the 20th. And like I said, again, if you come across anything, feel free, I'll leave my number to call and share with me that you may come across. Also, Ms. Griffin, I would like to know, anybody heard anything about this dog park that we're supposed to have?
All I heard is a petition going around.
To still have it, we still gonna have it? Yeah, we need it bad, because I live at Hillside, and we have people walking dogs and so forth. They don't have grass over where you live at, so they bring their dogs up on our grass to do what they got to do. And we have spoken to people about it, and but it's supposed to be a dog park beside the cultural center. That was a proposal, oh my God, before they finished building their area. And it was never delivered, so we need a dog park here for them desperately. Who's doing the petition? Who's doing the petition for the dog park?
I just
You
heard-
said one is going around, somebody said?
That's what I heard.
I heard that too, but I haven't seen it.
I was afraid it is.
I don't want a dog park.
We need one. I don't want one either, because I don't have a dog, but I don't want a dog on my grass. On our grass, we have beautiful grass. We pay a lot of money for our grass.
I don't think that's gonna stop them from being on the grass.
Well, yes, I mean, if you got a dog park, I live at a house in Upshur, and they put one up there, and yes, it has.
Oh, I see.
It has, it's beautiful, and we have a dog park up there, and it's made a big difference. A big difference, okay? A big difference, and I think it will get too. I think people will welcome it, I really do.
So you were saying that the lights are broken out in the park?
Well, they told me, when you told me they replaced them for the last picnic somebody had up there. But yeah, they actually just break the lights out.
I thought those lights was,
So I don't know what's going on with them now, but at the last picnic, I think she
they
said
was
they were
bulletproof or something.
and then I don't know how they do it, but anyway. They said it would be replaced. Ms. Griffin, Ms. Queen.
As I see in the city here, the people have bags in their pocket and they scoop up that dog business as they do their business. And we, city here around in this vicinity is too small for a dog park. Around in Fort Lincoln.
In Fort Lincoln?
They can do a pickup there, they carry their bags with them and they scoop up their dog business as the dog do them. And they put them in the trash can.
Some people,
Yeah.
some people do.
Well,
And
then,
you're right, some people.
those that have pets should do that, and that should be one of the things that they would do.
Well, the signs state that you're buying, yes, some people do pick it up. I've seen that, my neighbors all have small dogs and they do pick it up. But there's some people that don't, but again, I think the dog park would be wonderful for you to walk your dog there instead of on the grass. You know, they're still going on the grass and you gotta pick it up, take them to the dog park. That's what the dog park is for. You shouldn't have to walk them in our courts. I live in a court. The dog shouldn't be walked in those small courts. You know, because people like Ms. Griffin, she used to clean up, she can tell you about what it was like. Some people pick it up, but a lot of times she stepped in it. So I take them to the dog park, you know.
Just a point of order again on the legal thing, that we have committees set up to deal with any and all issues. If that's something your committee wants to deal with as a Parks, Grounds, and Recreation Committee, or make one of your priorities, to come to a meeting and make a recommendation to the board about that, submit to the board, and the board can vote on whatever it is your committee proposes. But it's not something we're supposed to be discussing, it's something your committee puts on its agenda. You get a representative number of people from the different clusters. There's a woman at Wesley House who's very involved in this issue. You get all these people who are interested in working on the issue. You come up with a recommendation, present it to the board votes on it. Next item.
Another.
Ms. Griffin, question. So new business, so that means that we can't discuss anything here? We just have to just listen to your agenda? That's all we're here for?
When we get down to new business, but, you know, sometimes, like with this, you know, we spoke on it while we was on it, but, you know, because it was important. So,
My concern is the three lights that have been out on Commodore Joshua Barney Drive. I called on 3 different times, and it's been out for more than a month. It's like 3 lights that are out. Talk to D-Dot, and I don't know what else we could possibly do, because it's really dark going towards the Wesley House.
is that public?
Is that public or private?
It's public.
Oh, well, that's the city if it's public. So you, who is it? Pepco?
I think public works. Public works. No, it's not. It's city.
You call Pepco?
No, it's not Pepco,
It's
it's D-Dot.
Oh, D-Dot?
It's D-Dot. They said they put in a contract and somebody would get back to me, but they never have. I leave out really early in the morning and I catch that 8-6 bus and it's dark outside, like literally dark. So like I said, I don't know what else more to do at this point.
I didn't have more than one person called, or sometimes when I get a lot of calls, you know, they will get on things.
What about the ANC commission?
Every meeting has new business, where new things come up like that. Stand up, talk about it at length, talk about your tenants association, talk about who your representative is, David Hawkins, see what he wants to bring it to the board or to actually vote on something. We're happy to talk to you about that when we raise new business. We haven't reached new business yet.
Okay, well, why don't you encourage other people to call, you know, get numbers of people to call, maybe they'll get on it. If that works. Next item is status report on anticipated expense and expected revenue for September 2012 to May 2012. That's turning here.
What?
Status report on anticipated expenses for expected revenue for September 12.
I only got, communications, budget, I got no budget for anyone,
On the community? No community, no nothing?
only communication.
Have you called them? Hold on, proposed budget. A staff report on the shops at Dakota Crossing, we don't have anyone, for that. So now we're down to new business and announcement, including district. So we open for new business, for, input, concerns, and,
Okay, Ms. Work. And the police officers back into, security, as far as having the police present a lot more. I don't see them, too often where we live, on that side street, instead of on the other side. I do see them down in the new houses, and I have a problem with that, because it's a lot of crime going in the area. So I wanna know, what do we do as residents to get more police presence in the area? Like late at night and early in the morning.
You say you're at Washington Overlook? Robert, does Washington Overlook have a tenants association?
Nope.
What each one of the housing clusters have, the advantage they have over a lot of rental places, is they have condo associations, or condo boards, and most of the senior buildings have tenants associations. Washington Overlook is at a disadvantage because it doesn't form a tenants association.
Right, but how do you do that? How do you form?
Start knocking on your neighbor's doors, you start circulating flyers, call a meeting.
We can barely get them out to do anything. We had an issue with housing,
You also-
increasing our housing.
You also contact your representative, David Hawkins, whose phone number is,
Okay, you said
David?
David Hawkins?
yes. His address is 3506 Commodore Joshua Barney Drive Northeast, apartment 301. His phone number is area code 202-630-0199. His email address is foxx,
Who is, and you said FOXX,
322
322.
@yahoo.com. He'll work with you on any issues you have. It's necessary to bring them to the board. He's your representative to bring them to the board.
What's the department number again, sir?
301, I'm sorry.
Who made him our representative?
At the annual meeting, there's an election, and people run for the representative of each one of the housing clusters. And he was elected back in the May or the June board meeting.
This is all new news to me, because I've never heard of it, never knew
One of the
about
things the
meetings
civic
or
association
anything.
one of the things the civic association is trying to do is to improve communication by setting up at each housing cluster a Yahoo group where people who have a computer and internet access could join a Yahoo group for their particular housing cluster. And David Hawkins and Vincent Short set it up for Overlook. So you'll give me your email address, I'll make sure they invite you to join the Yahoo group so that you can communicate with other people at Washington Overlook. And you all can talk about issues like lights that need to get fixed and other common concerns that you have. But they supposedly put a flyer on everybody's car at Washington Overlook months ago, sometime during the summer, advising them about the existence of this. Wait, let me finish.
Yeah.
About the existence of the Yahoo group, and also put in, apparently you all have a newsletter that goes out that the management company sends out once a month. Put an announcement in that about the Yahoo group as well. In any event, you have David's phone number and
Yeah,
contact
but
information.
all of this, we do have a newsletter, but I don't hear anything. I found out from my friend today, and the other lady that was here, that's how I found out. I don't know anything. I don't find out about nothing. It bothers me.
Join the Yahoo group. You have his phone
Okay,
number.
but what I'm saying to you, it bothers me that I am not a homeowner, and just because I rent, I just feel like it's just whatever. It's just all about I just feel like it's all about the home ownership. And we're just left out in the cold.
I'm a renter.
That's
It's
how I
all
feel.
about the Yahoo groups.
Yeah.
Want to be in the communication group? Join the Yahoo group.
But that's what those are, apartments for rent.
Mhm.
Overlook.
Don't y'all have
It's an
some-
apartment for rent.
Some of them,
They were originally condos, but they could not sell them, so that's why,
Oh.
we pay them, that's why they rent them out.
So you do have some owners, condo.
No,
Their own rental.
Their
All
own
rental
rental
properties.
properties.
All of them.
All is rental, okay.
All of them are.
But you do have a voice, even if you are a rental.
Yeah, because, you know, I don't know.
Or maybe the police can say something on that, but when he comes up. Maybe the police can say something about that when he come up. Anybody else have any comments?
Oh. Can this be new business?
Yeah.
Okay. Saturday, November 10th, 2012, the sports section of the Washington Post, page D10. You don't look at the sports section, you would miss this article like most of us did. Notice of public hearings. And this is the Metro bus service changes. In this article, it states that the B8 and B9, the B8 is going to be rerouted. The B9 is going to be discontinued. And this is going to happen in the spring of 2013. H6 is going to be rerouted. And there's going to be a hearing on Monday, 26, 2012. And this address, I can't see this stuff. This little teeny fine print. It wasn't meant for seniors.
I think it said 53.
I had the address here. I give it.
Okay.
5315 First Place Northeast, Washington, D.C. Open house at 6 p.m., public hearing at 6:30 p.m. The name of the building is Marinette Morales Building, Metro Transit Police District 1 Substation. We need we need someone to go to that meeting. 5315. Northeast.
Again, as a legal matter, that would fall under the Senior Affairs Committee for the Roads, Grounds, and Recreation Committee. Senior Affairs because
Yeah.
the primary purpose of this rerouting is to get the buses to loop into the shops at Dakota Crossing. Once they're open and they hit the villages at Dakota Crossing, to include them in the routes. And so that, because they're going to be eliminating the B9, which goes up to Coma Manor, and it's the only bus that goes up to Coma Manor, that's going to adversely impact seniors dramatically. There's going to be no bus that goes up to Coma Manor between 9 o'clock a.m. 3:30 p.m. So the seniors in Petersburg, Wesley House especially, I'm sure want to be heard on this issue. And Zoe McNair and Ann Ricker are the co-chairs of the Senior Affairs Committee.
What about the ANC, Bob King? He's really active with seniors, so,
Some seniors.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, what's his purpose, because I don't see a lot of seniors here, with the exception of the few that have been up in the audience.
Everybody as a computer will be able to hear everything that happened at the meeting today, in addition to it being posted on our website.
No, but no, he's everything else. I'm just really, that's another thing that bothers me too.
I'm with the office on that, and I'm here to hear some of the concerns and take it back, and we have a network of seniors that we contact, and everybody's figuring out. I think that's very important because years ago they allowed it very hard to have the B9 to go up to Coleman Manor. Fought very hard to make sure that it happens because the seniors needed to go shopping during that course of the day. But this is the first I've heard of it because they generally send Metro Jenny sent me notices of any bus changes. I didn't know about the B9 being discontinued. So we need to get the word out to all the seniors at the building and everything else and make sure that their voices are heard. And go to the meeting and also call Metro and written comments too. So I'm gonna send a letter to them.
It's a number in there, and also an email address where they can
Yes.
do that.
So I'm gonna send it out, also I'm gonna send something out from our office to them.
I don't know why they would even place that in the sports section.
What they want you to
Sir?
say.
Because
I'm gonna show you what they did. The last page of the sports section starts classified.
oh, that's because I was getting ready to say, because see, I used to work at Coach in advertising. And I'm like, why is that on? Well, I know they don't get that many ads anymore. So, and I'm like, why is that there? It's usually in the classified, but they put the classified in the sports section. But still, something like that should have been like the second page of the Metro.
It should have been a metro
It
section.
should have been the Metro section, you know, because they've never done that before.
And I tend to get notices of any proposed bus changes, and I didn't get one about this. Anytime there's a bus change, and then we send it out as we see it as it impacts seniors, because a lot of bus route changes
Right.
do impact seniors.
And
They ride
that
bus.
B9 would.
Yeah, so we need to get the word out about that, and, you know, seniors make sure they comment.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't say, but there's a lot of them.
You identify yourself?
My name is Courtney Williams, I'm with the DC Office on Aging.
I just feel like, since the new houses came down there, it's just like more so to push the seniors and the older people that have been living here for many years out the way for the new development, and that's not right. It's not right at all.
My problem, I've been here 15 years, and our problem is that we have many seniors who do not live in the senior buildings, but are not notified about anything in Fort Lincoln.
Right.
Or Ward 5.
But they're
Right,
notified,
right,
but they're
right.
notified when it's time to come vote for people.
Mhm.
And then, just pick them up on the bus and go buy them some chicken, or go buy them, some sandwiches or something. That bothers me. It really does. It's disgusting. How he does
That's the end of
seniors.
it.
It's really disgusting. And he's not here tonight, but really disgusting. Really does.
We have to get rid of it. So I never run against it
That's the
again.
end of it.
He's not going to manipulate the seniors to vote for him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we know that. The next thing is, this school is closing. They're gonna close the school because it's under enrollment.
What was the purpose of the petition? Because I signed the petition and I got other people to sign the petition. So what was the purpose of the petition if they were still to close the school down?
Or the petition to keep the school open?
Yeah. It was in our rental office, in the Fort Lincoln, the Washington, the rental office. They had it in there for people to sign, and there was a petition going around. And so I'm a little confused about that.
Copies of the petition are right there on the desk. The purpose of the petition is